let's talk about Terran counters to the Marine. The Firebat is both good and bad. So the Firebat has a concussive damage, which is good against the Marine because concussive deals 100% damage against small targets and the Marine is small. Number 2, the Firebat has a splash damage attack, which can also be very strong against Marines because Marines are always appearing in groups. But on the other hand, the Firebat has a very bad range of 2, and it also doesn't have a lot of HP. It just has 50 HP. And because the Marine DPS is super high, the Firebat often just be killed before it can even fire an attack. But if the Firebat manages to close the distance and get an attack off, the attack actually is very good against the Marine. So I'm going to put the Firebat into B tier. Next we have the Vulture, and the Vulture is pretty good. Number 1, the Vulture also has a concussive attack. It deals 100% damage to the Marine, which is nice. It deals 20 damage per shot, so usually it always is going to 2-shot the Marine, which is also powerful. It has slightly more range. It has a range of 5. The base Marine has a range of 4. And the Vulture also has a higher movement speed than the Marine. And it is also quite cheap. It just costs 75 minerals. So overall, the Vulture is very good. I think it's almost an S, but I'm going to put it into A tier. The reason is I don't think that the spider mines are particularly effective against Marines because the spider mines just have a range of 3 and the Marine has a range of 5. So as long as the Marine has detection, for example, a combat station, Marines can kill the mines for free without taking damage. But the Vulture is close to being in S tier, but I'm going to put it into A tier. The mines are not super effective. And next we have the Siege Tank. And the Siege Tank is clearly an S tier counter against the Marine. There's many reasons for that. Reason number 1, of course, is range. The Siege Tank in Siege mode has a range of 13 and the Marine just has a range of 5. It vastly outranges the Marine. And number 2, splash damage. That's very powerful against the unit like the Marine. And number 3, the Siege Tank deals a damage of 70, but it is explosive damage. So this means that the Siege Tank just deals 50% damage against the Marine, but it doesn't really matter because a Marine after stimming has 30 HP, and this means that the tank still one-shots the Marine, even though the damage type is not really strong against the Marine. So yeah, huge range, splash damage, one-shot stims Marines. It's an S tier counter. And next we have the Medic, and the Medic is it is very strong at assisting the Marine, but at countering the Marine it doesn't do anything. I'm going to put it into D tier. And then we have the Goliath, and the Goliath is, I think, okay, but not super strong. So the Goliath is mainly used as an anti-air unit, but if we look at the Goliath as an anti-ground unit, the Goliath has slightly more health and it has a 1 armor. So for equal cost, you get a little bit more HP and 1 armor from the Goliath, which you don't get from the Marine. But then again, the Marine has a higher DPS per cost than the Goliath. So it's quite a mixed battle and both units fulfill a little bit of a similar role. Both are like generalists in the sense that they both shoot up and shoot down. So in a fight of the two, the situation is quite balanced. I would put the Goliath into B tier. And next we have the Wraith, and this is a very bad unit against the Marine. Reason number 1, the Wraith has 2 attacks, 1 anti-air attack with decent damage and 1 anti-ground attack with terrible damage. So the DPS of the Wraith against ground targets is terrible, and the DPS of the Marine against air targets is super high. So the Wraith is a D tier counter. Next we have the Valkyrie. This is also an easy D tier. It doesn't even have a ground attack. And next we have the Battlecruiser. And the Battlecruiser is okay, but it is still very expensive. I mean, reasons that are good for the Battlecruiser is, number 1, the Battlecruiser deals 25 normal damage, so it is usually always going to two-shot a Marine, maybe even one-shot at very high upgrade levels, but usually it's going to two-shot the Marine. Also, the battlecruiser has 3 armor. This is strong against a unit that fires very quickly with a little damage like the Marine. And number 3, the battlecruiser has a range of 6, while the base Marine has a range of 4, upgradable to 5. So there's also range advantage. Overall, I'll put the BC into A tier. I think it's a very strong counter to the Marine, but number 1, it comes into the game very late, so it's very easy to produce a lot of Marines before the battlecruiser even comes out. But once you have the BC, it is strong against the Marine. Next we have the Ghost, and the Ghost is generally a very bad unit, but I think it can be even okay against the Marine. And the reason is the Ghost has a concussive attack, so it deals 100% damage against small targets like the Marine. And number 2, the Ghost has a nice attack range of 7, while the base Marine just has a range of 4, upgradable to 5. So there are actually a couple of advantages, but the Ghost still has little DPS for the price, and the spells of the Ghost are not useful, so neither Nuke nor the Lockdown are useful against the Marine, so I think it's a C tier. And next we have the Science Vessel, and the Science Vessel is a very nice and interesting unit, but I do think it's not good against the Marines. So number 1, the defensive matrix, of course, is usable. You can just give any of your units more HP, but this is not specific against the Marine. Number 2, Irradiate feels like it's not strong against Marines, because using Irradiate against Marine is wasteful. So the Irradiate removes up to 250 HP from a unit, but the Marine just has an HP of 40. So the Irradiate, you usually want to use it against higher value targets, like let's say Defilers or High Templar. There's not a lot of use to it in a TVT, and the EMP also is useless because the Marine doesn't have shields or energy. So I'm going to put this unit into D tier, or maybe a C, because the defensive matrix, it's a very generalistic spell, can always be useful. And next we have the Bunker, and the Bunker is good against the Marines because the Bunker provides units inside the bunker with +1 additional range. So if you have a bunker filled with Marines and this bunker is attacked by enemy Marines, the Marines inside the bunker is going to have a 1 range advantage. So the bunker is actually decent against the Marines, but on the other hand, Marines inside a bunker cannot be stimmed like in StarCraft 2. You have to unload them, stim manually, and then again load them. So this is of course a disadvantage for the bunker. So I would put the bunker into B tier. Alright dudes, thanks for watching.